Hello and welcome to Cleveland News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. I am Imefon Okon. The village head of Akwa in Abak local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Chief Friday Jonah Omarin, has been arrested by police operatives for allegedly shooting his sister, Unwana Ifyon Friday, in the head with a gun. It was gathered that the incident was as a result of a misunderstanding over palm fruit. Police Public Relations Officer in Akwa Ibom, DSP Timfon Johnson, disclosed this in a statement in Uyo on Tuesday, adding that the victim has been taken to a hospital where she is currently receiving treatment and is reported to be in stable condition. She noted that the suspect has been arrested and taken into custody, and a long single-barrel gun believed to have been used in the assault was recovered from his possession. No fewer than 15 members of the Jehovah's Witness congregation have died in a road accident at Awomama Bridge in Imo State. The crash, which occurred around 6:45 p.m. on Monday, happened when a trailer driving against traffic collided with a bus conveying the victims. The worshippers from the Akwa community in Okuta local government area were returning from their annual convention in Oli, Anambra State. All the passengers in the bus reportedly died on the spot, and their bodies have been deposited in a morgue. Chairman of Okuta local government area, Ifeanyi Nani, described the incident as a tragic loss for the community. In a condolence message issued through his aide, Orum Desmond, on Tuesday, Ifeanyi commiserated with the bereaved families and prayed for God's comfort over the community. Erin Battison, the Australian woman at the center of the globally followed Leoncata mushroom murders, has been sentenced to a minimum of 33 years in prison for the fatal poisoning of 3 elderly relatives and the attempted murder of the 4th. The Supreme Court of Victoria had that Battison, 50, had served individual portions of beef Wellington laced with date cap mushrooms during a lunch at her home in Leoncata, a small town southeast of Melbourne, in 2023. The victims included her estranged husband's parent, Gail and Donald Pattison, and Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson. Very sad indeed. The former Cookie West lawmaker, Senator Dino Melaye, says the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is dead, buried, and cannot rise again. The self-acclaimed Democratic evangelist alleged that the PDP was sold but was unsure if they had received the payment receipt. Melaye stated this during an interview on a national television program while announcing his defection to the African Democratic Congress, ADC, while reacting to concerns raised by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, over the rate of foreign loans by Tinubu's administration. The former Kogi West Senator Dino Melaye decried the rate of borrowing by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying the government may soon borrow from Nigeria's leading fintech companies if care was not taken. The National Assembly says the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpotungduaha, cannot resume office yet, despite completing a 6-month suspension. This was stated in a letter by the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Dr. Yahya Danzaria.
In a letter signed by the acting clerk of the National Assembly, Dr. Yahya Danzaria, dated September 4, 2025, the Senate acknowledged Akpoti-Uduaha's notification of her intending return on September 4th, the date she claimed marked the end of her suspension. The upper chamber, however, said a 6-month suspension remains in force pending the outcome of a Court of Appeal case instituted against the Senate by Akpoti-Uduaha. It insisted that no administrative action can be taken until the Court of Appeal delivers a verdict, arguing that a suspension took effect on March 6, 2025, and the matter is still sub judice. According to the letter, the Senate would only review a suspension after the court's pronouncement. Recall that Akpoti-Uduaha was suspended on March 6 following allegations of insubordination after rejecting a change of seat during plenary. The suspension, based on recommendations of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, also stripped her of aides, office privileges and salaries. The lawmaker had consistently argued that her ordeal was linked to her petition accusing Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment, a claim the Senate dismissed. She later challenged her suspension in court, securing a judgment which she claimed favored her recall. Meanwhile, her attempt to force her way back into the National Assembly in July ended in a standoff, as security operatives barred her entry despite a crowd of supporters rallying outside.
As I was elected and mandated by the good people of Kogi Central and INEC. And it's unfortunate that we got in today, which is the 22nd of July 2025, having duly notified the Senate through 2 letters that I would be resuming functions today. As a matter of fact, the Senate, under the leadership of Godswill Akpabio, have decided to become lawbreakers and by denying me entrance into the chambers to resume my duty.
Abiola Alafe, reporting for Clevi News.
The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers have threatened a nationwide strike in protest against what it described as anti-union practices by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. At the heart of the dispute is the refinery's decision to deploy 4,000 new compressed natural gas trucks for direct distribution of fuel, while allegedly asking drivers to shun union membership. Why, you will ask? We bring you the details.
Dangote's refinery's new logistic model, unveiled in June 2025, is poised to reshape Nigeria's downstream sector. But it has also pitched one of Africa's richest men, Aliko Dangote, against one of Nigeria's most powerful unions, NUPENG and Pengassin, raising questions about workers' rights, fears of monopoly and the changing balance of power in the country's petroleum industry. In a statement after its National Executive Council meeting last week, NUPENG accused the refinery of flagrant violation of workers' constitutional rights to freely associate and vow to mobilize its members to resist.
So it's our duty to serve Nigerians, and we've been doing it for years. But suddenly somebody came around and said he doesn't want these members to be unionized. So how do we cope with that? Union is to protect the workers, their interests, their welfare, their living conditions. Then if somebody comes around and said he doesn't want the union there, he wants to form his own union. And we know him. We know his antecedents. And we've been asking him to even unionize, to allow us to unionize those refinery workers. They've been resisting us. Then when we met his cousin on the 23rd of June, he categorically told us that they will not allow union in the new workers they are recruiting. Then we had it from reliable information that last Friday, they started recruiting and making these new recruits to sign undertaking not to join the union. It's an affront of Nigerian constitution. And when he came out to say he was distributing fuel free of logistics, what he meant is that he wants to keep everybody down. Then the workers will not have any voice, no representation, and they'll be serving. How?
And a dispute with the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, over its plan to hire 4,000 truck drivers to distribute petroleum products directly to filling stations and bulk consumers. The Dangote Group says it is requiring these drivers to sign undertakings not to join any union, a move the union sees as an attempt to silence workers and deny them their right to collectively bargaining. To this end, NUPENG has threatened to embark on a nationwide strike in response, citing concerns that Dangote's action could undermine workers' rights and lead to exploitation. The union's national secretary, Olawale Afolabi, accused Dangote of trying to push smaller operators and truck owners out of business, potentially leading to a monopoly in the market.
It's better we make things work amicably within ourselves than going on strike, because there is hunger in this country.
Their strike is for a just cause, and if they are sure that their strike is actually going to bring about the reduction in, the fuel price and diesel price and all of that, if it's a cause that they can fight to the end, it is good.
For the first time in decades, Nigeria has a private integrated refining and distribution system that could bypass the union's chokehold. Nigeria's law and international commitment guaranteed workers' right to organize and freely choose their unions, with Section 40 of the Constitution upholding the right to assembly and associate, while the Trade Unions Act affirms the right to form and join unions. In addition, Section 9, subsection 6 of the Labour Act prohibits employers from forcing workers to either join or refrain from joining a union. The country has also ratified International Labour Organization (ILO) Conventions 87 and 98, which protect freedom of association and the right to collectively bargaining. However, not all factions within the union support the strike, as the Petroleum Tankers Drivers (PTD) branch has urged its members to ignore the directive, describing it as insensitive and unacceptable. The Direct Trucking Company Drivers Association has also distanced itself from the strike, calling it a disservice to Nigerians. For ordinary citizens, the stakes are high. If NUPENG embarks on strike actions, fuel queues and black market may return, while Dangote monopoly, if unchecked, could cause smaller players to vanish, raising fears of monopoly pricing. As both sides dig in, analysts say the challenge for the government is to uphold workers' rights, ensure fair competition, and prevent a showdown that could once again hold Nigerians hostage at the pumps. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk.
No fewer than 536 staff members of the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) have accused the agency's management of deliberately plunging them into poverty, sickness and death by refusing to pay their salaries and allowances since 2007, describing it as an injustice that has reportedly claimed the lives of more than 120 of their colleagues. Speaking at the Nigerian Union of Journalists Secretariat in Bauchi State, the aggrieved workers appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to urgently intervene and enforce compliance with the 2013 Federal High Court judgment and order a full-scale investigation into the agency's open defiance of lawful directives. Clearview News correspondent has the details.
The affected staff described the ordeal as a grave injustice which brought untold hardship, stressing that for 18 years they had been denied their wages, pensions and entitlements despite not being dismissed, entrenched or indicted for any wrongdoing.
The frustration is too much. We have been redundant for more than 20 years, not because of anything, but because of the selfishness of some individuals that see themselves as alpha and omega in Nigerian Port Authority.
They also revealed that on August 22, 2017, the then Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, through a letter from the presidency, directed the NPA to resolve the matter. The group recalled that on May 22, 2013, the Federal High Court in Ikoyi had ruled in their favor and ordered their immediate reinstatement with full payment of salaries and allowances. However, 12 years after the judgment, NPA management has refused to comply. Similarly, the National Assembly on May 17, 2016, passed a resolution mandating the Minister of Transportation to reinstate the affected staff and pay their salaries. But sadly, both interventions were reportedly ignored.
It is worrisome to see National Assembly intervene in a situation and write to them and they turn it down. Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, wrote to this same management. They turn it down. As far as we are concerned, that is an embarrassment of the highest order. Again, the judgment from the court that has jurisdiction, these people still turn it down. We did not commit any crime. It's just that we wake up, they stop our salary and allowances. We are legitimate employees of Nigerian Port Authority. Here with us, we have show you our appointment letter given to us by the same management. So on this note, we are pleading with the, Mr. President. As it is now, he is our last hope. Please come to our aid. We have suffered so much.
Chairman of the affected NPA Staff Forum and its secretary, Matthias Aboy, said over 120 of their colleagues have died due to lack of health care and basic needs.
We have the record of more than 25 to 30 of our colleagues has died because of diseases, out of frustration and trauma.
They insisted that the president's timely action will not only restore their livelihoods, but also prove that his renewed hope agenda prioritizes justice, workers' welfare, and respect for the rule of law.
And that's the news. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Imefon Okon.